Today I want to talk about vulnerability. Now, have you watched Brené Brown's Netflix, what do I call it, special? I don't know. It's called The Call to Courage. First, Brené Brown, let me tell you, when I watched her TED Talk, I was just like, and this was, I don't know how many years ago, I was like, this is my person. This is my person. I love her so much. I love her books. I love her talks, but I especially love her talks. Anyway, in The Call to Courage, she talks about vulnerability and how there's no courage without vulnerability. And it's something I've been practicing being vulnerable for quite a few years now. Actually, for, maybe like more than a decade. I think close to a decade now. And I didn't even like really, sorry, is my top? Okay. I didn't really even like think about it in terms of this is what I'm doing. Like I just started opening up about my journeys into myself, and you know, with so many different things, with body acceptance, with image, with mental health, with my spirituality. Like I just started sharing myself online, and it opened me up to so much. It has connected me to so many people. It has led to me having this YouTube channel. It led to my body image campaign, Flaunt It. It led to my coaching. Like vulnerability has actually been a thing for me. It has helped me in my relationships. It's been such a huge tool for me, and it's like watching her talk about vulnerability has confirmed so many things for me. So recently I was in a place where I had to be vulnerable with someone. By the time you see this video, I'm like, so full disclosure, I'm shooting videos and like, what's the word? Scheduling them. So I think it'll be quite an amount of time before this video shows, and I'm so curious to see when I watch it back at that time how this situation will have gone, if it will have gone anywhere. But anyway, I was vulnerable with someone recently, and I talked about it in a previous video when I was talking about the inner child. And I shared this part of myself with this person, and I did it because of certain reasons. I sometimes I just wish I could just like blurt out full stories for you guys, but then it's not possible. I think it would be so much easier if I could just be like, yeah, I told Nani this, and you know, but anyway, besides the point. It put me in a vulnerable position, and I was scared and triggered for a while, for hours. And it's because there's this idea that we're not supposed to show people how they affect us, and we're supposed to be strong, you know, badass, you know, don't be affected by people, don't give a fuck, you know, like there's this idea that we're not supposed to care to some extent, you know, care, yes, about people who care about you. I fuck with people who fuck with me, you know. It's just like this whole thing of bravado and like weird, what's the word? I don't even know. It's like a facade of nonchalantness. Like whatever you do, is that even a word? Nonchalantness? I don't know. But like whatever you do doesn't affect me. Like I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm not that person. But to some extent, yes, in certain situations, yes, I'm that kind of person. But if I care about you, oh Lord, like I care, and that's been one of the hardest things for me to accept and show in my life, especially when it's in situations where you're supposed to have this, what's the word, this pride thing going on. Like for example, in romantic situations, especially in the beginning stages, there's a lot of posturing and fronting with each other, and so to show vulnerability is a difficult thing for us, you know, for me certainly, because I'm supposed to be unaffected by you. And so with this person, like I'm not unaffected, I am very affected by this person. So I just had to share what I had to share. I had to open up, and it was so difficult, and I was like trying so hard, because before, in the past, I would have beaten up on myself, just being like, why did you send that? Have you ever had this thing? Like, this is a perfect example. Let's say either you're liking someone, and it's not going so great, or you've broken up with someone and you can't seem to get over them, and then you go out drinking, and then the alcohol hits, and then suddenly your inhibitions are nowhere to be found, and you pick up your phone and you send this text, or you make that call and you pour your heart out and you say all this shit. And the funny thing is, and then, so yeah, you open up your heart and you say all these things, and the next morning you wake up and it's shame. You're so ashamed, you're cringing, you're just like, you're in the fetal position. It's like, I wish I could take that back. And it's not that what you said wasn't true. It's just that you didn't want to expose yourself in that way. And I do agree that it's not necessary to expose yourself to everybody with everything. Sometimes it is better to keep in that information, but at the same time, sometimes it's better to just say it. Sometimes it's better. I'm so sorry, the kids shouting. Anyway, sometimes it's better to just put yourself out there and say it. And in Brené Brown's The Call to Courage, she talks about how there was this guy who came up to her and was like, hey, so I tried being vulnerable with someone, and guess what? I was vulnerable with my girlfriend and she broke up with me. And I love how she tells the story. It was really funny. But sometimes it does not go well. Sometimes, actually, sometimes it's a lot of times. Vulnerability won't always end with you winning, or you getting what you want, or with even the person who you're giving it to receiving it in a proper way, or a proper way. Sometimes you can be met with what looks like rejection, and sometimes people don't want to hear it. But if it's something within you that you feel you have to share, then just go ahead and do it, and don't feel ashamed about it. Or do feel ashamed and sit with the shame and just allow it to pass. And that's exactly what I did with myself, because so when I was there just sitting, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I've sent it, oh my god, this is what's going to happen, this is what they think about me, this is what, I started going through all these scenarios in my head, and then the shame started to descend on me. And it's like, for me, shame feels like a stain. That's what it feels like. It feels like, have you ever seen, like, if you drop a drop of ink in water and how it spreads? That's how shame feels. I feel it, and it spreads, and it goes to my face, and it goes to my belly, and I just feel like, oh, it's just like, yuck. It's such my whole body just goes, and in that moment, usually I'll try and do something to distract myself. Like, I was even seeing myself, so I'm watching, because this is something I've been practicing a lot, the practice of presence, of awareness. So I'm sitting there, and I'm seeing myself. It's like my hands are like, okay. So I go to pick up my phone, and I'm like, okay, just breathe, sit with the feeling, okay. I reach for the laptop, and I'm like, babe, could you just sit with the feeling? Because this is the thing. The feeling is going to, if you don't sit with it, these kids are so loud. I'm so sorry. If you don't sit with the feeling, you're just going to extend, because it's not going to go anywhere. This is the thing. You suppress it, and it stays, and it festers, and it'll manifest in another way. Or you distract yourself from it, but it'll still be there waiting when you're done, like, hey, remember me? When you've laid your head on your pillow, and just those moments before you drift off to sleep, it'll be like, hey, remember? You tried to push me aside. So I'm just like, let me just face it now and let it just pass through me. Also, because emotions are just emotions, they pass. I think it's when we attach stories to them and narratives, and we add all this drama to them, that now they become something else. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit with this, and I did. I sat with the emotion, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling ashamed. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. I felt how it feels in my body, physically. which is also a really good tool, by the way, because it keeps you present with the emotion. And when you're busy, when your mind is busy analyzing your physical body, then it's not in the story attaching things to it. It's not like now, I wasn't now thinking, when I'm thinking about how it feels physically, I'm forgetting to think about how my message was received and what people think of me. And so that's a really good tool, by the way, if you want to just go through your emotions, see how they feel, and actually even go deeper than that. Give them, if there were to be a color, how would they look? For me, shame feels like a dirty brown. It feels like a dirty brown water, like that color. So I can just feel it like going through to my belly and to my face. And then if it had a texture, what would it feel like? And for me, it's like slimy. That's how it feels, like a slimy spreading thing. I don't know, I have to do that to my voice. But that's, you see, as you do that, you're just being present with it and you're feeling it, and you don't attach the story to it, so then it can pass. And I still had to do some work after that, which I talked about in my inner child video. I had to, because I realized what the shame was triggering was something from my childhood, and I had to look at it and talk myself through that, affirm my inner child and affirm myself, and remind myself that I'm okay, that I'm perfect as I am, that I'm loved exactly as I am, that it's okay, that that I did this and it's fine, that I'm someone who's this cared, like that I care so much about people. Like I affirmed all those things within myself. And I guess those are tools that you can also use if you find yourself in that space. But I think it's also okay to be careful about where you take your vulnerability to. So it's not that with every single person and every single situation, I think I said this already, that I'll be vulnerable. But if you want to give something a chance, if you want to show a certain side of yourself, if you want to let go and be you, even if it was unacceptable, as long as you're not harming anybody else. But if this part of you was something that you were ashamed of because someone said it was unacceptable, but it's such a huge part of who you are, show that part of yourself. Learn to start putting yourself out there. Learn to start allowing people to see you. Let yourself be seen. And that's what Brené Brown says so beautifully. Allow yourself to be seen. And also see yourself and affirm yourself and know that it's okay. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be vulnerable. Yeah, I hope that has made sense. I feel like I've rambled in this video and gone with so many different thoughts, but that's just what I wanted to share. And I love vulnerability. And it's so interesting that the more that I express it for myself, then the more I'm able to hold space for people's vulnerability and appreciate it even more, because I know where it's coming from. I know that it's not an easy thing for people to do because of my own experience with it. So it's like now I'm honoring their vulnerability more and I'm loving it. And I have so much more grace for people because I just see our imperfections as humans and how we are so imperfectly perfect. So that's also a beautiful way to begin to grow your compassion and your love for humanity. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Teruriga Tere. I'm sending you so much love. Yani, thank you for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe, share. I'm really wanting to grow this channel. I feel like I'm finally hitting my stride with it. So I really, really want to be able to form a bigger community here. So please, anything that you can, yani, just even liking or sharing is and subscribing is like a huge, huge thing for me. So if you could do that, I would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, please remember, above everybody else, you deserve your own unconditional love and acceptance. Sometimes I just like to hug myself and kiss myself like, oh, you're doing a good job. Yes, that's me showing you my vulnerability. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.